I'll quickly mention this. The son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, Jonah Platt is the son's name. He is speaking out publicly against Rachel Zegler and blaming her for the film's catastrophic failure at the box office.
Rachel Zegler just keeps making things worse with the Walt Disney Company. The more that she tries to defend this movie, the more that she tries to spew her agenda onto the general public, it's only making matters worse. Not just for Bob Iger, but for whatever is left of the image of Disney as a whole.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them.
Another celebrity under fire, another sudden social media disappearance. But this time, it's Rachel Zegler, the actress who skyrocketed to fame as the lead in West Side Story and Disney's upcoming Snow White remake, is no stranger to controversy. Whether it's her outspoken views or behind-the-scenes drama, she's been a constant target of online debates.
And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
That take a long time to get out. So even though woke in some sense feels like it still has to run its course through the system. The ghosts have to get out of the machine, in essence.
The controversies surrounding Disney's Snow White remake show that we are still in the thick of the culture wars. Oh, have we been following the Snow White?
Actually, the first time hearing of this.
You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarves want to work. And honest
golden employment opportunity for dwarves.
There's not that many scripts that come down the pike.
No, there's 7 of them.
But now, after months of criticism and backlash, she's done something drastic, stepping away from social media completely. The question is this a genuine break for her mental health, or is this a carefully calculated PR move to dodge the negativity? Fans and critics alike are split. Some say she's just another victim of the destructive culture of online trolling, while others argue she's only retreating now that the backlash is hurting her career. But Rachel Zegler isn't the first celebrity to pull this move. Over the years, many stars have left social media, only to return when the storm passes. So, is this part of a pattern? And more importantly, what happens next? Let's break it all down.
I was looking at the chat, and some of you guys were like, we need a few less Snow White-like movies. I couldn't agree with you more. Like, all this woke stuff has to end. And you know what? There's a reason for it to end right now, and it's in part because this stupid movie, Snow White, just totally bombed at the box office. They spent $270 million on this thing. They're not going to make their money back, and now the producer's son is coming out and blaming the whole thing on Rachel Zegler. He's not wrong. I mean, Rachel Zegler tanked this. There's a lot of other reasons they tanked it because, you know.
Rachel Zegler has always been vocal about her beliefs, but in the last year, that outspokenness has landed her in serious trouble. It all started with her controversial takes, criticizing powerful figures, openly supporting controversial public issues, and calling out industry practices she deemed unfair. While many of her fans praised her for speaking her mind, others weren't so forgiving. This immediately sparked backlash, with public accusing her of being out of touch. Then came the Snow White controversy. The live-action remake has been facing non-stop criticism for months, with many Disney fans unhappy about the drastic changes being made to the classic story.
And it's more than just a movie at this point, because normally I wouldn't even watch a princess movie, but it became such a punching bag and a symbol. And Rachel Zegler has become the symbol of everything that's wrong with modern Hollywood right now.
Zegler, instead of avoiding the discussion, directly responded to critics, stating that the original Snow White was even outdated, and that the new version was more modern and empowering. This only added fuel to the fire, with people accusing her of disrespecting a beloved Disney classic, geeks, and alienating fans. At this point, her social media accounts had become a battlefield. Every post, every comment, every like was being scrutinized. The pressure was mounting, and then she disappeared.
And the audience has spoken. They were, honestly, Glenn, they were telling, every trailer that hit YouTube was getting ratioed into oblivion. And yeah, so Disney was telling you exactly what this movie was going to be, and the audience was telling them exactly what they thought of it. And now, unsurprisingly, it's flopping.
And I think this is also, this movie, her reaction, the way they did all of it, I think this is part of the undoing of that era as well.
Hollywood doesn't know how to be good anymore. They are so black-pilled. They are so dystopian. They are so nihilistic at this point that when you see something that's just good, that it disgusts them.
One day, Rachel Zegler was arguing with critics on Twitter. The next day, she was gone. Her Twitter account deleted. Her Instagram wiped clean. No warning, no explanation, just silence. For some, this was a clear sign that the negativity had finally gotten to her. Being bombarded with hate daily can be exhausting, even for someone used to the spotlight. Public figures have their limits, and Zegler may have simply reached hers. But not everyone was convinced. Many pointed out that celebrities often use social media breaks as a way to control the narrative. When the backlash becomes too much to handle, stepping away can make it seem like they're the victim rather than the instigator. Some even suggested that this was a strategic move by Disney, advising her to lay low until the controversy fades away. After all, Snow White is already released, and they can't afford any more bad press.
I mean, journalists weren't even invited to show up at the red carpet for the premiere because they were afraid she was going to say something that would hurt the movie even more. Hollywood became so confused over identity politics that it turned on itself because insiders say the industry never held any true values.
Still, others defended her, arguing that she was unfairly targeted. They pointed out that male actors and celebrities often make just as many bold statements, but rarely face the same level of trolling. So, was this truly about what she said, or was it about who was saying it? Either way, the damage had been done. And now, the big question remains. Will she stay gone, or is this just a temporary retreat? Rachel Zegler isn't the first celebrity to quit social media after controversy, and she definitely won't be the last. Over the years, we've seen countless public figures step away from platforms like Twitter and Instagram, only to make a dramatic return once the backlash fades away. Take Justin Bieber, for example. Back in 2016, he shut down his Instagram account after getting into a public feud with fans who were trolling his then-girlfriend, Sophia Richie. At the time, it seemed like he was truly done with social media. But just a few months later, he was back, posting like nothing had happened. Or what about Millie Bobby Brown? The Stranger Things star deleted her Twitter after becoming the target of cruel memes and online trolling. The internet twisted her words, turning her into the face of a joke she never wanted to be part of. It was too much for a teenager to handle, and she rightfully stepped away. But after some time, she returned, wiser about how she interacted with the public. And then there's Doja Cat. Every few months, she threatens to quit social media, whether it's over fan drama, industry frustrations, or internet trolls. But somehow, she always finds her way back. The pattern is clear. When celebrities leave social media, it's rarely forever. In most cases, it's just a strategic break, a way to escape the heat while the internet moves on to its next target. So where does Rachel Zegler fit into this? Unlike some stars who quit social media for personal reasons, Zegler's exit seems directly tied to public backlash. That raises the question, will she follow the same pattern as others? Will she quietly return once people move on, or will she genuinely step away for good? If history tells us anything, it's that celebrities need social media. It's their direct connection to fans, their way of staying relevant, and let's be honest, their way of controlling their own narrative. Even stars who claim they hate social media almost always come back. Which brings us to the real debate. Was Zegler's exit a genuine decision, or was it a calculated PR move? Whenever a celebrity steps away from social media, there's always one question people ask. Did they really leave because of the hate, or is this just damage control? In Zegler's case, the timing is very suspicious. Her departure happened right after weeks of growing controversy, from her controversial rants to the Snow White drama. If this were purely a mental health decision, wouldn't she have left before engaging in heated online debates? Instead, she kept responding to critics, sometimes even adding fuel to the fire, until she finally vanished. For some, this looks less like a personal decision and more like a PR strategy. Think about it. Disney has a lot riding on Snow White. The film is already facing negative press, with many fans unhappy about the changes to the classic story. On top of that, Zegler's past comments about the original film being outdated only made things worse. Disney has a history of quietly managing controversies like this. When actors become too controversial, studios often encourage them to step back, let the heat fade, and re-emerge later with a fresh start. Could this be what's happening here? But there's another angle to consider. What if Zegler really is struggling with the level of trolls she's receiving? It's easy to assume celebrities don't care about online criticism, but even the most famous stars are human. Having thousands, if not millions of people trolling you online can take a serious toll on mental health. And let's be real, social media can be brutal, especially for women in Hollywood. Female celebrities often face far more scrutiny than their male counterparts. When men speak their minds, they're seen as bold or confident. But when women do the same, they're often labeled as arrogant, entitled, or unlikable. So, is this a PR move or a genuine need for space? case? The truth is, it could be a bit of both. What we do know is that the internet has a short attention span. Right now, Zegler is at the center of controversy. But in a few months, the world might have moved on to the next big drama. And when that happens, will Rachel Zegler quietly return, acting as if nothing ever happened? Rachel Zegler's situation isn't unique. It's just another example of the growing tension between celebrities and social media. On one hand, platforms like Twitter and Instagram give stars direct access to their fans. They can promote their work, engage with supporters, and even control their own public image. But on the other hand, they also open the door to constant scrutiny, trolling, and controversy. In today's world, one tweet can make or break a career. We've seen this happen time and time again. One offhanded comment, one unpopular opinion, or even just a misunderstood joke can lead to an avalanche of backlash. And once the internet decides you're a problem, it's nearly impossible to escape it. This is especially true for women in Hollywood. While male actors often get away with saying and doing controversial things, women face far more intense scrutiny. If they're too outspoken, they're labeled as difficult or ungrateful. If they try to defend themselves, they're told they can't handle criticism. And if they stay silent, people accuse them of being fake or out of touch. Zegler's case also highlights a deeper issue. How much responsibility do celebrities have when they speak out on social or controversial issues? Should they be expected to voice their opinions, or should they stay neutral to avoid backlash? Some fans want their favorite actors to be outspoken, while others feel that controversy should stay out of entertainment. The problem is, once a celebrity takes a stance, they can't always control how people react. In Zegler's case, she was praised by some but heavily criticized by others, and instead of carefully managing the situation, she engaged in debates, clapped back at critics, and ultimately found herself in a storm of negativity. Now, with her social media accounts gone, she's removed herself from the conversation. But does that mean the problem is solved? Or is this just a temporary escape from a battle she'll have to fight again once she returns? And that leads us to the final question. What happens next for Rachel Zegler? Now that Rachel Zegler has stepped away from social media, the big question is, will she stay gone, or is this just a short-term retreat? History tells us that most celebrities don't stay away forever. In a few months, we might see Zegler back online, posting about an upcoming project, or making a subtle return without acknowledging the controversy. Maybe she'll release a statement about why she left. Maybe she'll act like nothing ever happened. But one thing's for sure, her career isn't over. Despite the backlash, Zegler is still set to star in Snow White, one of Disney's most high-profile live-action remakes. The film's success or failure could determine how Hollywood sees her in the long run. If Snow White performs well, she might be able to move past the drama and rebuild her image. If it flops, however, she might have a harder time shaking off the negativity. Another possibility? A full-on rebranding. Many celebrities who face backlash take a break, reinvent themselves, and come back with a new approach. Maybe Zegler will return more reserved, choosing her words carefully. Or maybe she'll double down on her outspoken nature and embrace the role of a Hollywood rebel. At the end of the day, the internet has a short memory. Right now, the focus is on her. But in a few months, a new controversy will take center stage, and the cycle will start all over again with someone else. So, is Rachel Zegler's social media exit a genuine attempt to protect her mental health? Or is it just another strategic move in the never-ending game of Hollywood damage control? Only time will tell.